15 games with inexplicable physics. Preserving a sense of reality in games can be essential, especially when it comes to immersing your audience. However, the opposite also holds true, as a game can break all laws of physics and still come across as a compelling experience. Let's take a look at 15 such titles with inexplicable physics. Goat Simulator. Explaining the sheer insanity that is Goat Simulator and its various add-ons would take too long. Playing fast and loose with physics is a given here, either due to numerous bugs or from the insanity of, say, a goat headbutting a gas station. There's also that part when you do sick flips on a trampoline and lick a car to slingshot your goatly hide across the map. Need we say more? Gang Beasts. The gelatinous fighters in Gang Beasts are an immediate hint that things are going to get weird. Sure enough, seeing these warriors stumble, grasp, and fling each other all over the place is the epitome of multiplayer ragdoll combat. But how are they able to hurl themselves across elevators and trucks, much less hang off bumpers? Your guess is as good as ours. Totally accurate battle simulator. Ragdoll warfare, that's probably the best way to describe totally accurate battle simulator. The overall aesthetic is goofy and cartoony enough, but when units meet in battle, their bodies are subject to some of the zaniest physics. Bodies fly, stumble over each other, glitch out, and the list goes on. And we're fine with that. Human Fall Flat. More ragdoll fun can be had in Curve Digital's platformer, where the human body, if these are humans that is, contorts, shifts, waddles, and falls in numerous ways. That's the charm though, as players go about solving puzzles with all manner of flailing when they're not snowboarding down inclines and wiping out at the slightest bump. OCTODAD, DADLIEST catch. Forget the premise and subsequent science of an octopus leading a perfectly mild-mannered life with a human wife and kids. Just moving around is a sheer task. Tendrils get stuck and drag on all kinds of objects, but don't worry, you can just haul them overhead with little effort. The fact that this octopus can even navigate on land, somewhat mimicking bipedal movement, is probably against the laws of nature, or the precursor to an invasion by octopus people. Either works. Rage 2. It might not have had the most compelling open world or a memorable story, but one of Rage 2's weapons resulted in some pretty fun interactions. We're talking about the Grav Dart Launcher. Stick some needles into one enemy and then some more into another. Activate the gravity shot and watch them smash together like red paste, even if a few feet apart. Repeat with different objects for all kinds of ragdoll fun. FORTNITE Battle Royale. Where does one even begin with FORTNITE? The laws of gravity are non-existent for some structures, but fall damage is still a thing. The map has seen constant changes from icy landmasses colliding and joining to volcanoes suddenly emerging and erupting. And who could forget the world itself being consumed in a black hole and then suddenly being reborn, along with speedboats and the ability to yeet foes. The Elder Scrolls V, SKYRIM. Glitches in a Bethesda game? What a novel concept. Of course, before deleting people's scrap and breaking their equipment, said glitches were actually funny, especially when it came to Skyrim. Simply screaming Fus Roda resulted in some hilarious ragdolls, especially off of cliffs with multiple foes. Want to push Parthenax with your horse? Send a horde of foes tumbling down some stairs? Throw a pot on someone's head and watch them do anything without hindrance? Skyrim truly has it all. Worms WMD. Exploding sheep, mechs, grenades, mortars with suspicious arcs, flamethrowers, and that's not even talking about the levels themselves where a single speck of dirt can serve as a platform to stand on. Worms WMD is a deviously fun multiplayer time, but not an exercise in accurate physics. Except for gravity when it comes time to meet the sea. That still works just fine. I Am Bread. You control a piece of bread in I Am Bread. Spoilers, we know, but there's more to it. As a bread slice, you can move about the environment with relative impunity. Sticking to a door and spinning in place, piece of cake if you weren't playing as bread. It just gets weirder from there as you leap across rooms, push objects many times heavier, and even heat yourself up in a variety of ways. BONEWORKS. Described as an experimental physics VR adventure, BONEWORKS actually boasts a good amount of realism with effort required to lift heavy objects, manual reloading of guns, and so on. It's not long before you're running through digital landscapes, hopping seamlessly upon floating spheres, ragdolling foes together with strange tech, and so on. Is void energy a good enough explanation for all of this? Maybe not, but it's still a sight to behold. WRECKFEST. Physics actually play a big part in WRECKFEST as cars deform and break realistically, which is a given for a game about demolition derbies, but it can get a little ridiculous, especially when enabling realistic damage to see your trunk smashed or your entire hood gone after one decent hit. Still, Demolition Derby is the name of the game, and WRECKFEST aptly delivers. Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive's proclamation of just being an effing video game is a given. However, this is a game where you're essentially an average Joe, or Jane, that's also a deadbeat. Suddenly, the OD swarms Sunset City, and you have the ability to grind on rails, slide across water, dash through the air, and bounce across rooftops? That's to say nothing of adeptly handling so many weapons while doing so. Donut County. In Donut County, a raccoon runs a donut shop that delivers donuts to customers, which are actually holes that swallow up all their possessions. How do the holes increase in size as more objects are swallowed? Entire trailers fall in with very little effort. Large rocks are easily displaced. You eventually gain the ability to capture things with the hole and shoot them back out. At least gravity kind of still applies in those scenarios, ragdolls aside. CLUSTERTRUCK. What's it like to jump across numerous trucks while moving at high speeds? CLUSTERTRUCK does one even better. What if said trucks were getting knocked about by pendulums, floating, or just falling on top of each other? It defies logic as trucks are tossed about, explode, and are seemingly at risk of overturning before going on their merry way.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.